Thank you, Rick. In keeping with the spirit of this evening, it is my honor to present a truly unique recognition to a unique human being who is driven by principles. Dan Clark has not led an average life by any stretch of the imagination. His path has been shaped and driven by the principles. If the why is big enough, then the how is not to be a problem. Dan's ability to tap into the principles of why enabled him to unleash superhuman passion and perseverance as an athlete, an author, a speaker, and as a business leader. A wise man suffering from his third bout of cancer was asked why he thought that he had to suffer. Without hesitation, he responded that he suffered so that he could teach the principles with authenticity. Dan is a man who speaks and writes with authenticity, one who knows the darkness and depression of being paralyzed for a period of 14 months after a devastating football injury. He's experienced the emotional trauma of watching a life goal be extinguished in an instant. More importantly, he has discovered what it takes to spark a new passion, begin a new game, and find fulfillment in igniting the flame of hope in others. Tonight, we honor Dan for his commitment to and an example of the principle of service before self, specifically to our United States military and their families. Dan's passion to meet with and to speak to our members of the military is driven by his belief that in every audience there's someone who is hurting like he once did. Countless current and former military men and women have left Dan's presence with a renewed belief in themselves and confidence in the principles of resilience, perseverance, faith, and service before self. Dan joins a storied line of recipients of the American Spirit Award, including Bob Hope, Paul Harvey, Reba McEntire, Rudy Giuliani, and the Dallas Cowboy Organization. This award is the highest national recognition given by the United States Air Force Recruiting Services Command. And since 1980, this annual award has been presented to one civilian or organization that has had a significant impact on airmen, has made the lasting contribution to the Air Force, and has relentlessly advocated for airmen around the world. The award simply reads, for extraordinary patriotism, service, and commitment to the American Air Force. I can think of no better recipient than Dan Clark. He's a friend to each and every one of us in the Air Force. He's our wingman. And Dan began volunteering his time and talents to the Air Force in 2001, when he started speaking at our Air University to every graduating class of lieutenants and captains, and also in our non-commissioned officer and our senior non-commissioned officer academies. Dan has donated more than 350 speeches to the military. He's taken 8 trips downrange to speak to our combat troops in Iraq, Afghanistan, Kuwait, Qatar, the UAE, Bahrain, Korea, throughout Europe, and to Ethiopia and Djibouti. Dan has volunteered more than 3,000 hours to inspire, entertain, and support airmen and their families around the world. And I know of no other civilian that's ever done this. Dan was also a Pentagon appointee to the National Civic Leaders Board and has addressed every major commanders conference throughout the world. He's been a keynote speaker at our Air Force Academy Character and Leadership Development Symposium, and he hosted the 50th anniversary celebration of NORAD. Personally, I had Dan to keynote my Worldwide Command Chief Conference in 2005 and 2006, and we've been great friends ever since. In 2015, Dan was honored by the Secretary of the Air Force, the Honorable Deborah James, and the Air Force Chief of Staff, General Mark Welch III, who presented Dan with the Distinguished Service Medal, the highest civilian award given by the United States Department of the Air Force. And tonight we recognize Dan again with a different national award. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me honor one of America's great patriots as I present Dan with the 2016-17 American Spirit Award. Dan.